Our research has found that on average, the ideal time frame to hold the trade is 24 days from entry to exit. That's 45 days at start, 21 days exit, 24 days total. Pretty easy math there.
Yep,
During this time, we need to be vigilant in our monitoring of the trades. Also, want to be mechanical and prepared to address anything that might happen. So we're going to talk about offensive versus defensive trading.
Good.
So a couple things that we observe and that you will observe in your trading, as well as, being prepared for. You want to watch your P&L change. So these are on the next slide here. These are things that you're going to be looking for. P&L change, volatility change. I think this is probably the biggest one. Time decay is something that is typically on your side if you are trading short premium, or it will be on your side. But if you have a combination of long, short, futures, static delta, that is not as much of a time decay aspect. But from short premium positions, you will have time decay. And then the strike, where it is relative to where the stock is, this will dictate buying power, which is something that we talked about yesterday. It'll also, dictate your risk, all that stuff. So these are kind of the four things that we're looking at.
Okay.
P&L, of course, will fluctuate during the 24 days that you have this position on, and longer if you do hold them longer. But we should also plan to exit in case of early profits. One of the things we get, or one of the questions we get a lot of is, I'm up 10%. It's been 2 days. Should I take the profit and run? What do I do with that capital? That's another question we get.
Let me know what it's going to do the following week, and I can let you know whether you should take your profits here, right? I mean,
yes.
It's all subjective.
Yes, but the point is that if you're getting 10% in 2 days, you're way past what you would normally expect in a vacuum from most of your positions. Most of your positions, 10% is going to happen in like 12 days.
That's correct.
So like when you look at your position and you say, okay, I got 10% in 2 days. If the option is a 5 delta option, you might not be taking that profit. But if it's a quick 30 delta option that goes to 25 deltas and you make 10% in 2 days, you take that money and run because you're way past the decay curve.
Yeah, totally agree.
And so here's just a gauge of like what you should expect from a short premium position. This is just a one standard deviation strangle that we did in SPY. So this is, SPY is relatively low volatility. So this is about the fastest you'll see this sort of thing. Like a 10% on a SPY strangle in 12 days is about as good as it gets. You might get that way faster in something like an AMD or an Apple or something that has generally higher volatility because those swings are going to be a lot bigger. But here's your kind of an idea of what you should be targeting or what you should expect from just like your ETF strangle decay.
Okay.
So if you're 20% in a week, you're twice as fast as you should expect.
Yeah. So you did everything right. You did everything right. You got paid twice as fast. I mean, I'm probably running like a thief in the night, but everybody's different, right? You got to do what makes you happy. But I mean, it sounds prudent to close it.
Yes.
Might work out better. Could work out worse.
For sure. You don't know the future yet.
No, you don't.
Until AI takes that over. A large increase in volatility is problematic for short options. So this is usually the biggest, problem for most new traders and just traders in general is the change in volatility. You sell premium, volatility expands. All else being equal, the stock is still within your range, but you're like, I'm losing money. What gives?
Yep.
Well, it's usually volatility. And volatility, so it's one of the things that you have to be cognizant of. You have to watch.
I have a hard time with that word too.
It is a tough one. So things that you can do when volatility increases. Just the probabilities by rolling in the same cycle. So we talk about rolling the untested side. If you're short a strangle, stock goes down, volatility increases, you roll that put down and reduce some of your delta exposure. It takes advantage of some of that increase in volatility. You can increase the time to be right by rolling to the next cycle. So rolling out in time is going to reduce your volatility exposure. It's going to add extrinsic value. It's going to add time decay. It's going to lessen your deltas. Your P&L volatility is going to be lesser as a result of all those reductions. So rolling out in time is something you can do. You can increase risk by scaling into positions. So if you are a 10-lot trader, you can start with 2 or 3 contracts when volatility is relatively low. If volatility expands, you can put 2 or 3 more on. If volatility continues to expand, you can get to your full allocation. That's not something that applies to everybody, but just in general, that's ways to kind of reduce your exposure to volatility is legging in, to your size. And then closing the position. That's another way to reduce volatility, especially on those trades that work fast. If you have positions that, go to 20% in a week, take the position off and run like a thief in the night. You can do a combination of all of these things. So some positions you can roll out in time. Some positions you can close. Some positions you can reduce your directional exposure by rolling down or rolling up the untested side. All these things can come into play all at once.
Totally true. And you're seeing all of that today so far.
For sure.
Yep.
For sure.
Yep.
So time decay works in our favor, even when wrong on price. We still collect premium for the time. There's a value of time, and time will always have value. Time decay is not linear, however, and this is another reason why we will look to stay in trades for somewhere around half the duration, 24 days here. So time decay, if you have $10 of theta decay, it doesn't mean that every day you're going to get $10 and that it's going to be the same for the amount of time that you're in that trade. It has kind of a curve. You have a steepening of your decay as you get closer to expiration. There's also going to be a steepening to the upside of the risk and the gamma and all the other things that go into option trading. So it's not necessarily the biggest number theta that is the best number.
That's right.
Theta is relative to risk. So, really high theta numbers represents a really high gamma and just general risk on your positions. And so there is kind of a sweet spot. And so, you want to have a good theta number. You don't want it to be exploding. Theta decay just in general benefits short options. The ideal time frame is that 24 days. Once you get to that spot, that's when the decay curve starts to steepen, but also the risk curve starts to steepen. And so, kind of managing around that time is optimal. Regardless of the underlying movements, theta decay will eventually get extrinsic value eventually goes to 0. So if you sell an option for $1 and it's out of the money, you will keep that dollar. Whether you are profitable is going to be relative to intrinsic value on that trade. So if you sell $1 in extrinsic value, you keep that dollar. That dollar doesn't go away. The position itself, if it's in the money $2 and has $2 of intrinsic value, you've made $1 in extrinsic value. You lost $2 in intrinsic value. You're net down $1. So the extrinsic value goes to 0. Whether you make money on the trade is going to be relative to intrinsic value. Everything else is in between those two bounds.
Yeah, it's called risk. It's not called a paycheck.
Yes.
So, you're taking risk and you're hoping to be compensated. Now, your probability of success is going to be set on entry. So we like to look for around a 65-ish probability of success or greater. Now, more risk comes with a lower probability of success. Yep. You have to decide what you want to do. Playing into volatility, when volatility is higher, maybe sometimes we like to go closer to that 60th percent because we expect volatility to come in a little bit more. We're taking advantage of not increasing our size, we're increasing our risk on entry. Next one, please.
Strike, touch, or breach is a probability we can calculate on trade entry simply by multiplying the delta by 2. So the actions you can take obviously are the same across the board. It doesn't really change. So you can roll in the same cycle. You can roll out in time. I think the key here is to keep in mind that if you're selling a 30 delta put, you're probably going to be tested on that put.
Uh-huh.
Like it's a coin flip.
60% chance of a touch.
Yes, it's more
now,
than
if you get the directional move you want, going back to the slides we just had a moment ago, like let's say in 2 weeks, volatility's come in, and that means that you sold puts when volatility was high, usually in an equity like an SPY or IWM or Qs. Yep. Volatility's high when it's going lower. You sell puts, we get the move you want. And volatility has come in now. You got the best of both worlds. This is going to be a great scenario for you. This is outlining exactly that. Maybe the play is to close it. Go the opposite way. volatility continues to expand and your 60% chance of a touch happens in a quicker period of time. You didn't get the direction right. Well, now you got to think about doing something else, and these would come into play.
Yes.
Even the S&P is down 30.
Couple takeaways here. After trade entry, the market will take control. Entry is all you can control. We've talked about it a million times. You can look for high volatility, liquid underlyings, products that you want to be in. Don't sell puts in something that you're not trying to get long delta in. Like these are all things that you control on entry. You control the size, the time, whether you do it today or tomorrow or a week in the future. These are all things that you control. After you put the trade on, the only things you can control are whether you're going to be offensive or defensively managing this trade. Are you going to lean directional? Are you going to add to the position? Are you going to reduce delta? Those are things that you control after the trade. You can't control volatility. You can't control where the stock goes. Those are things that are outside your control. Developing mechanics builds confidence with the knowledge that anything can happen. I think this is a pretty big key to trading. You start to, things don't really surprise me anymore. I mean, day to day, you get surprised on a move, but things going nuts and big moves in stocks, it's like it happens every day. So anything can happen, but strategies, the strategies you use and the mechanics you use are the only things you can control and should help you, be comfortable with the